I'm in HD!
And still a little out of focus, but what ho? Ho ho.
And what better way to celebrate than by reviewing a game based around everybody's favourite time of year, that most joyous of occasions, Halloween. It's
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. OOGIE'S Revenge.
Yeah, that. I was getting there, alright.
Henry Selick's The Nightmare Before Christmas is a cult Christmas classic, and OOGIE'S Revenge follows on as its sequel. It sees our hero Jack Skellington leave Halloween Town in search of something new to spice up their Halloween, which has apparently gotten old.
Obviously, the thrill of thrills and chills has lost its chilling thrillingness.
That is not before Dr. Finkelstein introduces him to his new invention. Yep, you guessed it, Flubber!
Oh, no, it's a soul robber. And what does a soul robber do? Well, that's pretty complex. Ready for this? It robs souls. Who knew?
Jack is thrilled Dr. Finkelstein understands his plight and resolves to leave Halloween Town at once in search of new discoveries.
Oh, now I'm certainly looking forward to next Halloween.
Was that sarcastic or not? I really can't tell.
Anyway, while Jack's away, Lock, Shock and Barrel emerge and decide to resurrect Oogie Boogie.
Now we can bring back Oogie.
Yeah, how hard can it be?
I wouldn't know. I've never given life to a potato sack before.
Sally makes a paper plane message and throws it out the window in the hope that it might reach Jack by some huge coincidence.
Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
Jack returns to find Halloween Town isn't quite the same, with some unreasonably angry skeletons having flooded the plaza.
I don't believe we've met. I'm Jack. Jack Skellington.
Friendly chap, isn't he?
The Soul Robber is interesting in that it can act as both a whip
Whip it! Whip it good!
and as a handy grabby thingy, so you can pick up objects and use or hurl them from a distance. Charge the Soul Robber and you can swing your enemies round and round, but use it for too long and it fades to red and weakens. That is, unless you apply a special blue soul to your Soul Robber to strengthen it. I'll talk more about the combat later. Anyway, Jack's arrival sees him realize that Oogie has attempted a hostile takeover of the town and has rebranded it Oogie Town.
5 glowing stars for imagination there.
Basically, the town is in deep Oogie Boogie. The pumpkin patch is possessed, the plaza is deserted besides the odd Oogie baddie, and Oogie's shadow is performing musical numbers at the town hall. So Jack heads to the booking office to see if they have any seats left.
Yo, sorry, that's... Jack heads to the town hall to beat the living shit out of him. And how does one beat a shadow, you ask? Search me. But Jack takes care of him the only way he knows how. Through dance.
Yes, the first level eases you into the game with a boss fight. That was nice of them. Which not only sees you whipping him vigorously, but collect enough floating musical notes and you go head to head against him in a dance-off, complete with skeletal saloon gals. Once Oogie's shadow is defeated, the Halloween door mysteriously appears. Jack pockets it, somehow, and returns outside, where Corpse Kid informs him that the witch shop has just reopened. At the witch shop, you can buy all sorts of special items and upgrades, such as blue souls, using the souls you've collected on your travels and in battle.
Terrible things happened while you were gone, Jack. Terrible things.
Don't worry. I'll ensure there's a crackdown on spontaneous musical numbers from here on out. They are indeed terrible.
Eventually, it turns out Clown holds the only key to the main gate, for some reason, and he's now in the sewer. I repeat, for some reason.
I'll bet that's not the only clown in a sewer you've seen this year.
The sewer is just one of many hidden places in the game. Indeed, the game actually holds many secrets, some of which can be missed entirely if you fail to keep an eye out. And you know what? The teenager in me still sniggers at the mere mention of the word manhole. I'm fully aware that it's referring to the drain, but come on, they could have rephrased the question, should I enter the manhole? Anyway, once you locate Clown, it's revealed Oogie's monsters kidnapped Sally, so Jack rushes off to the cemetery.
Yeah, because the game obviously wasn't looking gloomy enough.
The next couple of levels are actually a little dull in my opinion, and may even put some players off from persevering with the game. It's a real shame though, as after this point the game picks up enormously. First, Hanging Tree wants you to find his hanging men with Zero's help. It's the same old find the item thing, and it's not very exciting, even if it is nice to see Zero. Anyway, the hanging men have all left Hanging Tree because they're too afraid.
So they split off individually and isolate themselves while Oogie's monsters are running amok? Sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Also, as it turns out, one of the hanging men decides to hide in a big tree, directly above where Hanging Tree is standing. So he ran away from Hanging Tree to hang from another tree?
Right.
Anyway, it's during this time you meet Lock, Shock and Barrel. most exciting part of the level sees Locke challenge you by resurrecting some Oogie skeletons. It's not much of a challenge, but hey, it gives life to an otherwise bland level.
Or in this case, death.
Chapter 4 is also pretty by the numbers, as it sees Jack having to seal monsters in their tombs by raising a number of gravestones. Again, while there's plenty of combat, it's not too thrilling. In fact, since there's so much combat, now seems like a good time to talk about it. Enemies come in a variety of forms, the majority of them representing skeletons and ghosts. Whenever you enter an area within a vicinity of enemies, this happens.
Maybe he's a friend. Then again, maybe not.
If they take on a glowing, colourful form, this means they are possessed. Possessed enemies do a little more damage and take a while longer to eliminate, but on defeating them you do get a bigger bonus in terms of souls and pickups. If you use the directional buttons to taunt a standard enemy with a soul robber, your weapon will automatically charge. Not only that, it will frighten the enemy and challenge it to change into its possessed form. The idea is to grab the enemy and swing it round and round before it changes, inflicting a great deal of damage. And while I don't like this level very much, it does indeed help you to get used to the gameplay. Oh, Jack found Sally's letter. How about that?
Wow, that paper plane was surprisingly effective. It might be a little late coming, but hey, it's better service than Royal Mail.
Then things pick up, with a double boss level. One of Hanging Tree's men reveals he's seen where the monsters took Sally, and Jack is pointed in the direction of the underground burial chamber. On the way there, he's ambushed by Locke.
Why do you always have to spoil our fun? This is the last time you'll get in our way!
Of course, realizing he's still only a child, I'm sure our mild-mannered hero will no doubt impose a fair and appropriate punishment.
Nope.
He violently whips him into submission. Subtle.
Apparently it doesn't count as child cruelty if the child is far, far crueler than you.
The burial chamber magically opens after this encounter, and after a pretty pointless run through the corridor of coffins, seriously, what's the point in this room? Jack finally finds Sally.
Sally! Sally!
Jack.
If there's anybody watching this who's not already familiar with The Nightmare Before Christmas, seriously, how could you? You'll no doubt know these guys' names by the end of this review.
Sally!
Jack.
Sally!
Jack.
Sally!
Jack.
Yo, but then, something else happens. Oh, I know what that is. It's a giant
Spider-Head.
I was going to say that. Rude.
Yes, although it's sort of justified in this game, it being a creepy Tim Burton and everything, our old friend the giant spider is back.
Oh, it's kind of cute. I'm gonna call him Colin.
Hit Colin in the abdomen and he splits off into lots of little Collins. As you take them out, gradually Colin shrivels up until he becomes much smaller and less effective.
A bit like my ex-boyfriend.
During this time, Jack and Sally seem to think it an appropriate time to sing.
Why?
Or try to, at least.
Wish this spider would hurry up and kill me. I can't take much more.
Anyway, eventually, Jack wins a dance-off with the spider.
Which was inevitable, because everybody knows spiders have 2 left feet. Or 4. What were those characters' names again?
Jack.
Oh, that's it, yeah. I'd forgotten.
The Valentine's Day door appears before the loved-up couple, and they return to the surface, where Sally hands Jack the key to Dr. Finkelstein's laboratory. It's at this point that Sally helps Jack realize that he can use his Pumpkin King fire to destroy enemies.
I am the Pumpkin King, and I can use my pumpkin fire to fight Oogie and his army.
Do you mean to say you realize this after fighting a giant spider? Got any brains in that skull of yours?
The Pumpkin King can burn things like a flamethrower or perform a big fire blast, which increases in size after upgrading at the witch shop. The Pumpkin King ability uses red souls, so your firepower is initially limited. Jack heads to the lab where he crosses Igor, who refuses to let you pass until you've retrieved a bone biscuit from the shop.
Hey, Jack. I don't think you'll find me as forgiving as Locke.
On the way there, Lil DeVille here intercepts you and orders an army of ghosts to take you out. Shortly after this, it's revealed Corpse Kid bought the last biscuit. He'll let you have it, but only if you complete his quiz.
The excitement never ends.
You can also return to him throughout the game to complete quizzes for rewards. Who led Jack's sleigh team through the fog last Christmas? Rudolph, Zero, Ruttiger? What the hell? Anyway, complete the quiz and you get a biscuit.
Who doesn't like biscuits?
Biscuit tastes good.
Glad you enjoyed it, honeybee.
What was that?
Jack's next task is to temporarily disable a large generator, keeping him from approaching the lab. After racing inside, Shock is atop the tower waiting for him.
It's fun! I know I'm having a ball! I don't want to crush your spirit, Jack. Just your body!
Well, good luck with that, because as a skeleton, I have no body. I can so relate to that.
Anyway, Jack arrives at Finkelstein's and finds the doctor's brain has been switched with an Oogie brain, complete with Oogie eyes that clearly can't see much inside that head of his, but never mind.
You'll praise Oogie no more! You can take that.
After some more barely tolerable singing, Jack manages to swap the brains back and return the dog to normality, causing the St. Patrick's Day door to manifest itself before them. Finkelstein and Sally then come together to establish a new power for Jack, Santa Jack. With this, you can throw presents that help you in battle. Some presents reverse the possession of enemies, obviously now enabling you to pave the way through the pumpkin patch, while some daze or freeze enemies temporarily. Exclusive to easy mode, there's a special pumpkin shield to help protect you from attacks.
Pumpkin shield!
You know, just in case easy mode wasn't easy enough for you.
Proceed through the pumpkin patch and Behemoth will tell you that Oogie's monsters massacred the place and had begun to feast on the big Pumpkinhead. Using Santa Jack, Jack needs to plow through the pumpkin patch and lift the curse. As he journeys deeper, Lock, Shock, and Barrel appear again.
And after what we did to the mayor's house, oops! Wasn't supposed to tell you that. Catch you later,
They
Jack.
then lure him into the maze, which isn't actually much of a maze. No, really, you can't get lost in here. There's literally one path, and it leads to the big pumpkin, fortunately for you. Enter it, take care of Barrel, and the Thanksgiving Day door is yours, as well as the key to the residential area. Also, Behemoth is happy again, or at least I think he is.
Pumpkins.
Yes, sir, and the same to you.
Jack then heads to the residential area, where he discovers Clown's unicycle has been tainted with, as the Oogie baddies have installed some kind of engine.
I guess the only way to stop Clown is to remove that engine, and not even my spells can do that.
They can't? Seriously? You're the worst witch I've ever seen. And that includes the worst witch.
Yes, it turns out you need a special tool to remove the engine, which you can find at the lab. An all-in-one tool that will fix almost anything. Huh.
Oh, how convenient. What are the chances you'd find something like that? Fixes just about anything. Except my waning suspension of disbelief.
Jack fixes Clown's unicycle and he opens the gate to the vampire's residence. There he finds a note explaining that Oogie's turned all 4 of the vampire brothers into bats. They don't really explain how, but I imagine it happened something like this.
Abacadabra.
Hang on a minute. If all 4 vampires have been turned into bats, then who the hell wrote this note? This level is probably the most difficult to complete 100%, and for several reasons. Around this point in the game, the enemies become a hell of a lot tougher. And not only that, the combat music changes!
Ready?
The Oogie monsters are plentiful in this level, as are the obstacles. The level sees you investigate the sewage slums and a residential area in search of the 4 bats. It's Jack's job to return them to their coffins to return them to their vampire selves.
We're counting on you.
I see what you did there.
The main issue is that the bats are so sensitive. You can lure them towards you with a present from Santa Jack, but the presents trigger before too long and scare them away. And with many other ordinary bats around, it can get annoying pretty fast. The vampire brothers all hold pieces of the key to the mayor's house, which comprise a big picture of the mayor's face on his porch. If that's not narcissism, I don't know what is.
What?
Help!
Anyway, eliminating Oogie's army along the way, Jack ascends the house to rescue the mayor. Once on the rooftop, Jack encounters the 3 brats yet again.
Well, if it isn't the 3 little pranksters again. You're not still working for Oogie, are you?
Another round, Jack?
As if you had a choice!
Yeah, you'll notice they speak in unison, but one is out of sync.
Looks like you really fell for that one.
Oh, come on, guys, we rehearsed this.
And Mr. Oogie Boogie Man.
This is one of my favourite boss levels, and taking care of all 3 of them at the same time seems remarkably easier than taking them out individually. The music is good and the combat is impressive, and yet again you get to pull together as many floaty noties as you can to Fred Astaire them to death. Even after their defeat, which sees the appearance of the Independence Day door, the 3 brats get the last laugh as they mysteriously send you plunging into Oogie's hideout.
Phew, what a day this has been.
Oogie's lair is flooded with the most terrifying cliches of the video game world, including floating platforms, lava, fire, knives, and...
You'll never guess. A giant spider.
Oh, come on! It has the same music too? On a loop? One of these spiders was surely enough. After taking care of it, it turns out that Oogie's hideout is directly beneath the plaza, meaning the so-called hideout isn't exactly very well hidden at all. Jack also discovers all the kidnapped holiday leaders in cages. That is, all except Santa Claus. It's Oogie's intention to take over all the holidays and become the 7 holidays king. Eventually, you find Oogie and board the roulette wheel of doom. And then, the worst thing imaginable happens.
Yep, that's right. More singing! Oh no, I know. It's awful, isn't it?
Finally, Jack and Oogie come face to face in combat, or so Jack thinks. After his defeat, it's revealed the real Oogie is in Christmas Town, and you really just beat his shadow again. The Easter door appears and Jack returns home, through a gaping hole in the ground, somehow.
I think I just found a gaping hole in the plot there.
Upon Jack's return to the surface, he asks the mayor to free all the leaders while he's gone. With Zero's assistance, he finds the key to the gate leading to Spiral Hill, where he can use the doors he's collected to proceed to the hinterlands. Now things get a wee bit complicated to explain. You need to locate and replace the Oogie doors with the real ones.
Oh, well.
Since most of the doors are now at Spiral Hill, you cannot replace all of them yet. Instead, you must simply remove the Oogie doors. Unfortunately, this sees Jack sealed in by creepy trees and attacked by Oogie baddies. Take them out in the time limit and the door will fall off. In Nightmare mode, this level can be a pain to complete, and you need to use your blue souls when you're trying to de-Oogify the Thanksgiving tree. In order to recover the doors from Spiral Hill, you need to swap them for Oogie doors. Of course, things aren't so easy, as a pair of elemental Oogie warriors stand in your way. I've read some comments and reviews in the past claiming that this level is pitifully easy, and I honestly have to wonder if we're playing the same game. Maybe in easy and normal modes it's simple enough, but in Nightmare mode they won't stop delving underground and emerging in their possessed forms as shadows, which not only makes them invulnerable, it also refills their health. Anyway, destroy them and the Christmas door is finally yours. Return all the doors and you can visit Christmas Town, where Jack finds their big Christmas tree has been transformed into an Oogie tree. The elves beg Jack for help, although they don't do a fat lot themselves. Maybe if I whip them a little? Anyway, if for any reason you feel like you long for the doom and gloom of Halloween Town, you can always return through a rift portal at the town hall, where Sally perpetually waits for you.
No matter where you go, Jack, I'll always...
Forgotten your lines, love. Still, at least there was no danger of you forgetting my name.
Jack. 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 Jack.
Find all the Christmas decorations to restore the tree in Christmas Town, and you move on to the penultimate chapter, which sees Oogie suspend Santa over the train tracks.
Put me down this instant!
Sandy!
Merry Christmas, Jack!
Ooh, I don't believe it. We may actually have found an evil laugh that rivals Nazira's. Nah.
Destroy the Oogie train and one of the elves sneaks a special Santa Jack present into his sleigh. Oogie makes his getaway, but not before Sally arrives with Jack's own sleigh, and he and Santa pursue him. The present is triggered and Oogie plummets into the holidays landfill, where he summons all the bugs and transforms into Mega Oogie.
I'll take care of Oogie. You hurry up and deliver those presents.
Gladly. Merry Christmas, Jack! Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, great. Thanks a lot, Santa. I'll remember to send you a postcard.
This finale is brilliant. It's in 2 parts. The first is a standard battle in which you need to collapse the big bug bag, and then you have to perform the ultimate dance-off.
I'm the 7 holidays king!
You're king of nothing!
Succeed and Oogie vomits up his bugs and keels over in one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen in a Disney game. Ugh.
Forgive me for causing you trouble again.
No, Jack. This time I owe you my gratitude. Thank you for saving my life.
Wait, what? If Jack hadn't left Halloween Town in the first place, then Oogie wouldn't have been resurrected and none of this would have happened. Oh well. If you remember, at the beginning of the game, Jack initially left Halloween Town in search of new scares, new ideas, and new discoveries. I'd love to know what he found. Even despite everything that happened, I'm sure his departure was more than worthwhile.
You know, it's strange. Whenever I set out to find something new, my eyes are open to a larger world.
So, did you find anything or not?
No.
Oh. And you'll notice there are 24 main levels. That's one level for every day of Advent. Every day you could open a new door of gothic gloom, death and misery. And at the end of the day, isn't that what Christmas is really all about?
Oh, but that's not everything. There are 2 secret chapters in the game. If you visit Sally before entering the doctor's lab, a secret level called Deadly Nightshade opens, and you need to find ingredients for Sally's deadly nightshade soup. Nightshade, worm's wart, and frog's breath. If you succeed, you get to feed Finkelsteiner's soup before the boss level, which sees him pass out, giving you a head start.
And relieving you of his awful singing.
The other so-called secret chapter takes place in the runaway clown level, although it's not really very secret as Finkelstein pretty much tells you to go and talk to Igor.
Listen to Igor. Igor was eating bone biscuit when I hear manhole scratch.
Something has stolen Igor's biscuits and retreated to the sewers.
What could it be, I wonder? Oh, for fuck.
Yes, this is happening again. Can we make it clear now that a simple palette change does not a new enemy make? Also, this area is far too small for this kind of battle. Pardon me, old chap. I'd breathe in, but I'm a skeleton here. I can't really get much thinner. Throughout the game, too, you can visit Jack's house. Here you can find all your collectibles, a movie viewer, a soundtrack, as well as a document at the study outlining your game results. You can also view the figurines you've collected, which can be obtained either from battles in secret places or by achieving an A grade or higher for all aspects of a level. That is, time, combo, damage, and exclamation marks. Exclamation marks are obtained from surprising enemies or triggering presents. If you manage to find all figurines, you're granted infinite firepower, which is a decent reward. See, Peter Pan, that's how you do it. Hint. Additionally, the overall grade you finish the game with determines what costume you're rewarded with, which you can access from Jack's wardrobe. Although he's so skinny it hardly makes a difference. It really makes me wonder why they bothered. Most annoying level, Peril in the Pumpkinhead. Okay, this is completely subjective, as it depends on what stage you're at in a game and how far you've leveled up mostly. The Vampire Brothers is difficult to complete 100% as the bats are difficult to capture in a time limit, while the hinterlands can get confusing as the paths lead to illogical places and the combat requires some skill. But Barrel's boss in the Pumpkinhead was particularly annoying for me, mostly because of the static camera. I even saw the game over screen thanks to this level.
I'm so embarrassed.
Right, no need to rub it in.
You can't see the bone boomerang throwing skeletons that are attacking you, and Barrel will not keep still. The kid pissed me off so much, I went to the witch shop, stocked up on red souls, and blew the little brat to smithereens.
I reckon I'd make a great father.
Okay, so it's not the jolliest of Christmas stories, but it is Tim Burton, I suppose, and overall the game is frankly outstanding. Sure, the controls and the game's general style take some considerable getting used to, but it's a solid effort, marred only by some surprisingly dull levels towards the beginning. This is a real shame, as soon afterwards the game blossoms into something far more original and interesting. Once you start leveling up, the combat is extremely satisfying, and Jack's controls and animations are so slick. If I have any issues at all, it's that sometimes he focuses on the wrong objects and enemies, and it's hard to switch targets. And the static camera has its cons despite being a welcome departure from what we're used to. And as much as I complain about the singing, it's mostly fairly decent, if very repetitive. In fact, I may upset some staunch Nightmare Before Christmas enthusiasts saying this, but Chris Sarandon's singing as Jack, I actually prefer to Danny Elfman from the film. He is not outstanding, no, but he can sing, and I personally always have an issue with animated musicals in which a character's singing voices are completely different to their speaking voices. I am looking at you, Aladdin. Ultimately, the gameplay is satisfying, the style is unique, and the attention to detail is sublime.
Don't forget.
Save it now, or risk doing it again.
It's not only a decent follow-up, but a fitting tribute to the Christmas classic. Indeed, OOGIE'S Revenge is far from nightmarish.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire.
I neglected to mention that Jack can refill his health by drinking spring water. I don't know where to begin telling you the problems I have with this. I mean, it's uninspired for a start, but then it's implausible too, right? Also, what health? Who cares?
Whip it! Whip it good! Merry Christmas, everyone! Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. And you can check out one of my other videos. Maybe this one, or if that's not to your taste, maybe this one. Or if that's not to your taste, well, screw you. I'll be back in the new year with some more videos. Until then, bye-bye for now!
I am the Pumpkin King!